Can you really become a successful freelance web developer if you're not very good at programming? I've been thinking about this a lot recently because I've been very busy in the last couple of weeks, and as a lot of you know, if you've been following me, I've hired my best friend in my agency. He wanted to he wanted to do freelancing, so I started letting him help me on a lot of my projects, and so recently, because I've been really busy, I didn't have a lot of time to work on a lot of projects. I've been very busy with YouTube, very busy with building the Freelance Web Developer Starter Pack and a lot of different things. And what happened is we started having too many clients for how much time I had to actually do freelancing, to actually take care of our clients. So I started telling a lot of people who wanted to work with me that I couldn't work, I don't have enough time anymore, and I started telling them to go with other people. And what basically my friend said is, hey, I'm not a web developer, but I bet I could probably get these websites done even if you're not working with me. And so that's a pretty outrageous statement. He's not a web developer, he doesn't do web development. He basically helps me with handling clients, he helps me with a few things, but his expertise is in sales and marketing. He doesn't really know much about programming or anything. But we decided to give it a shot, right? He tried to make these websites. He basically had never done web design, never done web development, never done programming. But he tried to do that project anyway. And what really surprised me is by the end of the project, not only was he able to make a website without knowing anything about coding beforehand, but the website he made is probably one of the best websites our agency has ever made. And what's interesting about this project is, we started out, he had a lot of problems. First of all, he couldn't code. Second of all, I wouldn't be very much there to help him with handling clients, handling much of anything. But he had a little bit of experience and he wanted to do it. I was still there to answer questions when he needed it. So what he ended up doing is he ended up using his marketing experience to build basically a framework of the message on the website. And he started hiring different freelancers on Upwork to do the rest of the job that he couldn't do for himself. Basically, what we realized is that there's a lot of people on Upwork who know how to do all of these things, but the only thing they don't know how to do is how to find freelance jobs. So because he was able to find freelance jobs, because he saw how I did it, and he just did the same thing. He started calling people, started talking with them, did the whole sales process. He basically did the only thing that all these freelancers on Upwork can do. And so he was able to find people willing to work for him very easily. Because on Upwork, there's too many freelancers and not enough jobs. So he hired them to do basically all the project, all the web design. He found really good people for pretty cheap. And with, he had a really good basis because he knows marketing. He could make really good text. And so we ended up with a really good website that basically took us almost no hours of work. We just did a few hours just handling the clients, getting the job, getting the contract done and everything. But mostly, this was probably like a 40-hour project that we did probably 10 hours of. I probably worked only like an hour, just answered his questions. And it really made me realize that, the money in web development is not in the coding of the thing, it's in the getting of the clients. And we could probably make a lot more money just selling those projects that we get to other freelancers on Upwork. And the other thing I realized is that you don't really need to be really good at programming to have success in that, because if the money is not in the coding and the money really is in the getting of the clients, you don't need to be a really good coder to do it. And it made me remember when I started out, my first websites that I made. I've talked about this before. I was not I didn't go to college to get a computer science degree. I did go to college a bit, had fun in history and architecture, but I didn't get a computer science degree. I never got like programming classes in college. Everything I had when I started my freelance my web development career, because I did get a job someplace, was only a few Udemy courses. And I had less than maybe 2 months of experience coding. I was just coding on the side by myself. And so I really wasn't that good at programming. I didn't know anything about web design. I didn't know anything about much of anything, but I was still able to find tools and solutions to finish websites when I didn't know how to do them beforehand with my experience starting out. For example, I started finding good website templates that I just used as a basis to help me code things easier, better, and have have websites that have a better look to them than what I would probably have made with no experience in web design. And I think about all these different people who are basically WordPress developers. They just use Elementor, different WordPress plugins to make these websites. They don't really know how to code, but they're still able to find success as freelance web developers. And more, I'm just realizing you can be successful as a web developer without really knowing how to code. The money really is in knowing how to find the jobs, and all the rest. There's a lot of tools for you. There's a lot of people willing to work with you, and you can basically find really good solutions for all the rest. Whether it's, becoming a WordPress developer easily, or just like using website templates, or hiring people, there's easy solutions for all of them. They're pretty cheap, that work really well, that really don't require a lot from you in terms of skill. And really, as long as you learn how to actually do the business side of freelancing, handling the contracts, getting the clients, you're pretty set. So think about that. Start focusing more on your business side of freelancing and less on becoming a better coder, because the way I'm looking at this, the money in the future is not going to be in the coding. It's easier and easier, I feel, to find people willing to work for you on Upwork, because there's too big of a supply of web developers, and the tools are just going to get better. There's going to be more tools, and for your future, I think you should focus on learning how to get good at the business side of freelancing if you want to be successful. So I hope you found this video helpful. Subscribe if you want more content like this, and I'll see you soon. Take care.